Welcome back to Stab the Dragon. This is Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022. Stab the Dragon Productions number 67, Whiskey Review number 39. As tonight, we're looking at Ironroot Republic Hubris Straight Corn Whiskey. This is, I think, about the 1-year anniversary of starting this YouTube channel. So all 5 of you who watch this channel, lift a glass and say a prayer. My total score for this whiskey is 92. Letter grade, A+. My recommendation: this is an outstanding corn whiskey. It is a must-try if you're tasting your way through Texas whiskeys. If you're a proof hound and you want that high-proof whiskey along with a sample of some Texas, then here you go. This Hubris whiskey by Ironroot is exactly what you need to taste. Compare this with mellow corn bottled in bond for a shocking treat. Now, there's nothing wrong with mellow corn bottled in bond. It's good, but Hubris, it's amazing. Conversely, if you're a bit afraid of the high proof and you're not particularly a fan of that Texas funk in whiskeys, then turn around and leave this whiskey for me. I'll be glad to take yours. This will be a leading contender when I do my Texas whiskey tournament later on this year. So now let's get into the details. First, the history. This distillery is located in Denison, Texas, north of Dallas, about 45 minutes or an hour, just south of Oklahoma on Highway 75. The distillery was named for the famous grape roots that a T.V. Munson, 1843 to 1913, of Denison, helped develop. And these grape roots helped France recover from several years of loss of millions of acres of grapes to disease and pests. Munson was the grape expert in America, and he had developed a strain of grapes that were hardy enough for the harsh Texas climate and resistant to pests and disease. He single-handedly saved the grape industry in Europe. For this achievement, France actually sent a delegation all the way to Denison, Texas, and presented Munson with the French Legion of Honor. The University of Kentucky, where he had previously earned his master's, gave him an honorary doctorate. To this day, Cognac, France, is a sister city with Denison, Texas. Now, in 2011, Robert Licorice was about to graduate from St. Louis University Law School, but announced to his family that he really didn't want to be a lawyer. He wanted to start a whiskey business. His brother Jonathan, a biomedical engineer, joined up with him along with Mom, Marcia, a recently retired teacher. They traveled the country for a while, examining distilleries, and even went overseas and checked out things in France, particularly in the brandy industry. He obtained an intern position at Balcones in Waco, Texas, and then the Licorice family chose to plant themselves in Denison because it was one of the few wet counties in the area that would allow the sale of alcohol. So the Ironroot Republic Distillery was born in 2014. The distillery immediately began winning awards left and right. The 2020 World Whiskey Awards, Harbinger 115, won the best bourbon in the world, the first non-Kentucky bourbon to win this coveted prize. USA Today Reader's Choice Top 10 Best Distilleries in 2019, 2020, 2021. And the Ironroot Republic Distillery got Best Distillery of the Year by the American Distilling Institute in 2021. This whiskey, Hubris, won the World Whiskey Awards Best Corn Whiskey in 2018, 2019, 2021, and it won the Fred Minnick Ascot Award in 2021 as well for the Best Corn Whiskey. As part of the name Ironroot Republic, that Republic part came from Texas history, where Texas had seceded from Mexico and was a republic from 1836 to 1845. So, yes, we are the only state in the US of A that once was an independent nation. But what about the name Hubris? In ancient Greek drama, excessive pride and defiance of the gods, leading to nemesis, a retribution by the gods. But Ironroot Republic says we take excessive pride in our corn whiskey. So there you go. 5 points for history. Marketing, bottle, packaging. This is a beautiful bottle and beautiful label. Now, while I have not seen any advertisements for this whiskey, there are several reviews online. And by golly, if Fred Minnick gives it an award, that's plenty of free advertising right there. The bottle's identical to my other 3 bottles of Ironroot products. And again, I've not seen any of the bottles that are the shape of the ones you see on the website. Those look somewhat similar to what you see with Angel's Envy whiskey. So I've never seen those in the store anywhere. But it's a very nice looking bottle. The stuff on the back says we're a family-owned whiskey distillery that employs French brandy techniques using local and heirloom corns to create distinctive whiskeys from scratch. Our philosophy is heavily influenced by the history of our town, where T.V. Munson famously saved the French wine industry from phylloxera using Texas iron grape roots, forever linking cognac and Denison. Cheers and enjoy. This is a says Distillers Select 100% Corn Limited Release, the H20 edition, 43 months aged. These bottles are tall, so if you've got shelves for your whiskey collection that are a little bit short, you might have trouble fitting these in there. These are the tallest bottles that I've got. I've got one shelf that can handle these tall bottles. 5 points for marketing, bottle, and packaging. And this is a rubber stopper, not a real cork. I'm going to go ahead and pour a glass here. Composition. The website says heirloom purple corn and non-GMO yellow dent corn. Okay, it's all corn, but what is a straight corn whiskey? Corn whiskey must have a mash bill of at least 80% corn, distilled to no more than 160 proof. While it does not have to be aged, you can have the white whiskey just straight off the distillate. It does, if it is aged, it must be placed in uncharred or used casks at less than 125 proof. To be straight corn whiskey, it's got to be aged for at least 2 years. And as I said, this was aged 43 months. This bottle is 117.8 proof. So composition, 14 points. 14 out of 15 points. Appearance. This whiskey has a nice reddish tint to it, right? That's that purple corn that they use. It really makes this. There are some whiskeys that are finished in wine casks that have a tint that looks like this, but this is all corn. So again, if you compared this with mellow corn, it would be a remarkable difference in physical appearance. Here in the bottle, again, you can see that dark red color coming through. I find that very attractive. I really like the color. Now, this is not the darkest whiskey that I've got from Texas, but this is just gorgeous, really. So 4 out of 5 points for appearance. Nosing. Now my nose is infamous for being insufficient to smell most whiskeys. Usually with ryes and scotches I can smell something. Bourbons not so much. Corn whiskey, I get a little bit here. The website says smoked pear stewed in dark honey and baked into tartlets. Now that's pretty imaginative. I've never smoked a pear. I can see, putting one on a barbecue grill. I might have to try that. Dark honey, I've had that, and it does have a little bit of a honey smell. So I'll agree with that. I have no idea what a tartlet is, really. But for my inadequate nose, I would say I get a bit of corn, some of that sweetness from the dark honey, and a little bit of the Texas funk, but faintly. So I can smell something here, so I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. But now for the all-important tasting. Wow. The website says orange peel candied in anise, clove and cassia glaze dipped in dark chocolate. This is decadence. Well, I'm not sure about all that. And orange peel, I don't, maybe just a little bit. Some sweetness hits me first, and then the spice. I would not call it anise. I do get a peppery spice and some heat to that spice, almost like cayenne. I mean, yeah, this is 117 proof, but there's a spiciness here that's beyond the proof. The Texas funk definitely slaps you around a little bit, really in a wonderful way. A bit of maybe bitters on the back of the palate. Not in a bad way at all. This is truly a magnificent whiskey in every way. Strong flavor, and yeah, you know, it's high proof, so strong alcohol. Very bold. This is not going to be for the faint of heart. It does get up into the sinuses a little bit, but this is a rich tasting whiskey for sure. I mean, again, if you've got mellow corn in the back of your mind, there's a resemblance. You can tell they're, you know, corn whiskeys, but man, this just has a burst of flavor that won't quit. So I'm going to say 25 out of 25. This is truly amazing. Mouthfeel and finish. It's a little bit creamy, but to be truthful, I associate creamy with things like Irish whiskeys that are lower proof. The proof kind of hides the creaminess here. This is certainly not thin. I mean, this is a rich mouthfeel, but the strength and the boldness overwhelm the creaminess, if that makes any sense at all. It's just so hot at 117.8 proof. It's hard to really grasp the creaminess of this whiskey. So in no way is it thin, though. It's just hot. Full-bodied, maybe, would be a better way of describing that. The heat from both the spiciness and the proof is very pleasant for me. I was raised eating hot peppers from a toddler on up. I mean, I can tolerate a lot of heat. So that's why, you know, things like this. But I'm not really a proof hound. I mean, I really enjoy a lot of 80 proof whiskeys. So I'm not a proof hound, but at the same time, when I encounter proof, I can usually enjoy it. And this is amazing. The finish is kind of long and astringent a little bit. You get a little bit of that bitterness on the back end, but that's not an unpleasant bitterness. They kind of, it blends from the corn and the Texas funk and the sweetness into this orange bitters flavor maybe. So, but the weird thing is, as hot as this whiskey is, both with the spiciness and the proof, I'm not getting a Kentucky Hug or a Texas Hug, right? I've had some 80 proofs that give me more of that. So I'm not getting any negative, and I like that hug. This heat goes up into my sinuses more and in the mouth more and into the throat, but it doesn't really go all the way down. So mouthfeel and finish, I'm going to say 13 out of 15 points. Price, value, and availability, up to 10 points here. I've got the Total Wine site says $52.99. Neither Specs nor Goody Goody list this whiskey. And I did not write down where and when I got this or how much I paid. It's been over a year ago. I'm pretty sure I got it at Total Wine. The price, it seems a bit right for my memory, I guess. I think that's about, you know, pretty close to what I paid a year ago. The problem is availability, right? when you rate a whiskey, if you can never find the whiskey, then it's almost like, what's the point, right? Uh, and availability is the issue with Ironroot products. They are just so much in demand. They get scarfed up quickly, maybe even allocated in some places. I have, some Ironroot products are on the Goody Goody website. I've never seen Ironroot there, never. I've gotten one Ironroot product at Specs, but again, I very seldom see it at Specs. Total Wine more often. I was at Specs just this last week, and I did see some Ironroot Harbinger, the 90 proof, which I already have. So, no Specs had that, even though their website says they didn't. So, there you go. But for price, value, and availability, I'm going to have to knock off a couple of points because it's just so hard to find. We're 90 miles from the distillery, and I can't find these whiskeys. So, there you go. 8 out of 10 because of scarcity. Neat or mixer? Now, I only drink this neat, but I did try it on the rocks once last summer. Ruined it. It just didn't work for me. Ice just doesn't. I just don't do ice. Sorry. This should hold up well in ice for some people, but not for me. In a cocktail, I can see that going in a cocktail. But I just don't do cocktails. Once in a great while, there's a distillery in town, the Acre Distillery I go to, and I'll have a cocktail there. The Lockwood Distillery, I've had a cocktail there. But so yeah, you could put this in a cocktail and it would hold up just fine. I mean, it's 117 proof. Come on, strong flavor. Yeah. So 5 out of 5 for neat or mixer. Bonus points. 5 points, 5 out of 5, because, Texas. And this is one of the absolute best whiskeys ever. Absolutely. Total score, 92 points. Letter grade, A+. My recommendation. If you're drinking your way around the Texas distilleries, this Hubris straight corn whiskey by Ironroot Republic is a must-have. Absolutely. It's won so many awards. It perfectly displays what Texas whiskey is all about. This is magnificent. In my upcoming Texas whiskey tournament that I want to do, by the end of the year, this will be a leader that will be hard to beat. And I know I've said that about every Ironroot whiskey I've done. This is the fourth and final Ironroot product that I reviewed here at StabtheDragon. So again, this is just going to be a leader. Absolutely. Now, if you're a bit proof shy or you don't care for that Texas funk, then this whiskey is not going to be for you. I'll take your share. If you are a proof hound and you've never had a Texas whiskey, this would be a great place to start. My highest recommendation, absolutely. This is a favorite. And again, if you've ever tried Mellow Corn bottled in bond, you need to try this one for comparison. That's all for Stab the Dragon tonight. If you're not 21, don't drink. And if you're drinking, don't be a driving. We'll see you next time on Stab the Dragon. Out here.